Hello, I'm Kristin and welcome to my channel on healing my body and mind through nutrition and exercise. Welcome back if you've been following along. Welcome if you are new. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button, like, follow along, and share this video. So today, let's dive in. I wanted to talk about the foods that I avoid while on a carnivore diet. So everybody is different. Every body is different. There's no linear line on eating carnivore. I truly believe that. I know that some people will argue that with me and they will tell you that carnivore is for everybody and that's how everybody should eat. But I have seen and heard testimonials, and you need to listen to what people are saying. Just like you want them to listen to you, the people that don't believe in carnivore, and how you want those people to listen to you and realize that carnivore is the way and that it's healing you and that it's making you live a better life. The same way that a really strict carnivore needs to open up and listen to the people who are saying, maybe this isn't working for me, and I do need to add a more animal based diet where I need to add the fruit and maybe raw honey, and it makes me feel better. There's Dr. Paul Saladino who talks about it, and he gets a lot of SHIT about it because he was like the carnivore doctor and he wrote this book and then he went animal based, and people are like, oh, I believe they say that he did vegan and then he did carnivore and now he's animal based. Well, yeah, that's the idea is to try eating a certain way that you believe is healthy and figuring it out if it works for you or if it doesn't. And he found out that he mostly does still eat carnivore, but he had to implement a little bit more of what they call an animal based diet. So for me, I know that I have to specifically avoid certain foods. For example, on the carnivore diet, you will hear that eating red meat, bacon, eggs, salt, and bone broth is good for you. Well, I personally cannot have bone broth. And I found this out along my first 30 days of going carnivore because I journaled everything: what I ate, what time I ate, what bowel movements I had, how I was feeling. I mean, I journaled everything. And my advice to you is that if you're starting off, journal, 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 because it is going to help guide you to knowing what might affect your body and what might not affect your body. Because I found a lot of things out here on starting my journey on carnivore. So one of them was bone broth. And the only reason I figured this out was because when I had it the second time, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that I had an effect. Something triggered the same feelings, but I couldn't remember because it had already been like 2 weeks before having bone broth the first time. And so I looked back at my journal and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got really dry eyes, I got itchiness, and just maybe it's the bone broth. And so I tried it again. And sure enough, I get a reaction towards bone broth. So I personally try to avoid bone broth. Now, if you don't have any issues, by all means, it is very, very healthy for you. Love making my own. I don't now anymore. And what I do is I make beef broth, which is just as nutritious and really delicious. And I like to make my own at home. So that is one thing that I try to avoid. The other thing that I have to try to avoid is too much pork. So this is the weird thing. I can have bacon, but I noticed when I was having pork belly, which we made in the smoker, I'm thinking that it might be the smoker and that it was slow cooked that way, but I was having it for a while and I was fine. And then it was just really, really making me nauseous every time I ate it. And I was like, oh my God, I love pork belly because I cut it thin like bacon and I just put it in the pan and it's absolutely delicious. My husband makes it really, really good. And I just can't. So it is something that I have avoided. I have not tried it again. I maybe possibly will if one day he makes it, but I try to avoid that. The other thing is pulled pork. Pulled pork in the smoker again. So I don't know if it's the smoker. I don't know if it's the seasoning. I told my husband he has to buy 2 pulled porks, make one the way he normally makes it, and make one with just salt. I know it's not going to taste the same, but just to see if that's a factor or if it's the pulled pork, the pork. So I avoid eating pulled pork. The other day when he made pulled pork, I literally had like this much, and it makes me nauseous. I don't feel good. It just really, really bad. So I avoid eating pulled pork. I have not really eaten pork chops. I like them, but they're not, I don't miss them. Let's just put it that way. So why even bother? And out of the carnivore list, those are the two big things that I've noticed that I have to avoid. I avoid getting sausages that have sugars and added ingredients that are not needed. I buy clean sausages. I still do like to have my bratwurst and my Italian sausage every once in a while. And if I do eat deli meat, I try to get a nitrate free deli meat along with my bacon as well. I try to get nitrate free. That is a personal choice. And if you cannot afford it, because I know that that is the price for those things are a lot more expensive, then you can still try to find a bacon or something that has cleaner ingredients. So those are the foods that I try to avoid. Now, when I try to go a little bit more animal based, I for a fact avoid pineapple. I found out that pineapple triggers my inflammation in my hands and it triggered my anxiety. So that is something that I also avoid. And I would have not known that I had a reaction towards pineapple if I didn't do the reintroduction stage. So I haven't really dabbled too much in fruit because it was really bad with the pineapple that I'm kind of scared to have too much of anything else. The only thing that I have had that is more animal based that every once in a while I will have is avocado and raw honey. Now, come October, I am going to do a 30-day lion diet challenge. I've talked to you guys about this before. If you want to join in, I'm doing it with Dr. Fernando Morales. You can check him out as well. And he is going to do some free reviews of your blood work. He's not giving medical advice. It's just to kind of go over what you already did with your doctors or wherever you got your blood work done. So that is really, really cool and super thankful for him for doing that. And our group is a very private chat. So we are going to just have meal ideas, sharing our meals daily, check-ins, and just keeping each other accountable for those 30 days on doing the lion diet, which is just a really, really extreme elimination diet to see how you feel, especially if you still have some things going on with carnivore, or maybe you were thinking about even just starting carnivore and maybe you want to start with the lion diet. Now, I will tell you that the lion diet will be a lot harder because it is just red meat, ruminant meats, and salt and water, and that's it. So like I am going to very much miss my bacon and my eggs and my coffee. But if you want to join us, head over to my Instagram that is below in the description, as long and with my Nostr account as well. If you're over on Nostr, message me and I would love to get you added to our chat. So these are the foods that I avoid. I would love to hear, what foods do you avoid? Have you noticed any reaction where your body just does not react good, or an allergy towards any type of food specifically since starting the carnivore diet? Leave those in the comments below. I hope this video helped and I will see you again tomorrow.